In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 college football games happening on October 18, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Florida State versus Duke. The Florida State Seminoles, currently navigating a difficult season, will travel on Friday night to face off against the Duke Blue Devils in an Atlantic Coast Conference matchup. After going undefeated last year, the Seminoles have seen a dramatic downturn, posting a disappointing 1-5 record so far, with only 1 win in 5 Atlantic Coast Conference games. Meanwhile, Duke has started the season strong, boasting a 5-1 overall record, including a 1-1 mark in conference play. Florida State's trip takes them to Wallace-Wade Stadium in Durham, North Carolina, where they'll try to salvage their season against the surging Blue Devils. The Seminoles' struggles this year have been no secret. They opened the season with a shocking loss to Georgia Tech in Ireland, followed by setbacks at home against Boston College and Memphis. Things only worsened when they were soundly defeated on the road by SMU, a game in which starting quarterback DJ Uyagele suffered a fractured finger that required surgery. This injury thrust redshirt freshman Brock Glenn into the starting role against Clemson. Though the young quarterback managed 228 passing yards and 2 touchdowns in that game, his performance was merely serviceable, raising questions about whether he can consistently lead the offense moving forward. Duke's defense has been a bright spot this season, presenting a major challenge for Glenn and the Seminoles' struggling offense. However, Florida State holds a significant psychological advantage, having never lost to Duke in their 20 head-to-head matchups dating back to 1992. While historical trends aren't always predictive, they do suggest that Florida State may be capable of pulling off an upset. If the Blue Devils ever had an ideal opportunity to claim their first win over the Seminoles, it's this season, given Florida State's visible vulnerabilities. Notably, the most competitive game in the series was the Seminoles' last visit to Durham, a narrow 17-10 victory on October 14, 2017. Despite the risks of relying on past results over current form, the Florida State Seminoles to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Offensively, the Blue Devils rank 88th in the nation in total offense, which, while modest, is still significantly better than the Seminoles, who sit at 126th. Florida State has struggled mightily to establish a running game, which will force them to rely heavily on the pass, an area where Duke's defense has excelled. Both defenses are adept at pressuring quarterbacks, meaning we can expect drives to stall frequently throughout the game. Duke quarterback Riley Murphy has been inconsistent, completing less than 60% of his passes this season, but the Blue Devils' defense has compensated by limiting opposing quarterbacks to a similar 58% completion rate. Furthermore, Duke's defense has thrived on third downs, ranking among the best in the country. However, the Blue Devils have encountered issues in the red zone, an area where the Seminoles' defense has been particularly effective. Conversely, Florida State's offense has been shaky inside the 20-yard line and plagued by turnovers, which could provide Duke with critical takeaways. With both defenses capable of stifling opposing offenses and points likely to be at a premium, the outcome could hinge on which team reaches 20 points first. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Oregon versus Purdue. The 1-5 Purdue Boilermakers will host the number 2 Oregon Ducks for a Big Ten showdown this Friday. Oregon enters the matchup riding high after an exhilarating victory over Ohio State last week, which improved their season record to a flawless 6-0. This will mark the first meeting between these programs since 2009, with the Ducks holding a 2-0 all-time series advantage over the Boilermakers. Against the spread, both teams have posted identical 2-4 records. Additionally, Oregon has split evenly with a 3-3 over-under performance, while Purdue leans toward higher scoring affairs, going 4-2 to the over. One of the benefits of playing on a short week is that Oregon will have an extended period to rest and regroup ahead of their next challenge, a matchup against the 5-1 Illinois Fighting Illini next Saturday. Head coach Dan Lanning will undoubtedly remind his team of recent upsets, such as Alabama's unexpected loss to Vanderbilt, to keep them focused. However, it's worth noting that Vanderbilt presents a more formidable challenge than Purdue, making this matchup a potential trap game for the Ducks. Oregon is entering the tougher portion of its Big Ten schedule, and laying 4 touchdowns as road favorites is a hefty proposition. Given the circumstances, this contest has all the makings of a potential letdown for the Ducks. Oregon's offense has been consistent, averaging 34.5 points per game across the season. Their recent output of 34, 31, and 32 points over the past 3 games shows their predictability on the scoreboard. On the other side, Purdue has struggled on both offense and defense, with their defense being especially problematic. While an Oregon blowout is certainly possible, the Ducks may find it challenging to dominate after the emotional high of last week's thrilling win over Ohio State. Adding to this, Oregon has failed to cover the spread in all 3 instances this season when favored by 20 or more points. Meanwhile, Purdue has thrived as a heavy underdog, covering the spread in 6 consecutive games when receiving 20-plus points, including a narrow loss last week against Illinois that they nearly turned into an outright win. With Oregon playing on limited rest, the Purdue Boilermakers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The trends also favor a higher scoring game. The over has hit in 8 of Purdue's last 11 matchups, yielding a positive return on investment of plus 5.8 units and a 48% return on investment. While the Boilermakers have been ineffective on the ground, ranking 131st in expected points added per rush, their passing game showed signs of life with freshman quarterback Ryan Brown taking over. Brown's relative inexperience may actually play to Purdue's advantage, as the lack of scouting film makes it harder for Oregon to prepare. His dual-threat capability offers a higher ceiling than veteran quarterback Hudson Card, and if Brown can extend plays by scrambling out of the pocket, Purdue could create more explosive plays downfield. Defensively, Purdue is at a significant disadvantage. The Boilermakers' linebackers and secondary have struggled all season, ranking 125th in both tackling and coverage according to Pro Football Focus. Oregon's offense will likely exploit this by forcing Purdue's defenders to make plays in open space, a task they've consistently failed to manage. Furthermore, the Ducks' dominance in the trenches will be a major factor as they rank much higher in key metrics such as line yards and stuff rate, compared to Purdue's dismal 125th and 118th rankings in those areas, respectively. Given these mismatches, as both teams have the potential to put points on the board, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Oklahoma State versus Brigham Young University. It's a clash of Big 12 opponents as a preseason favorite, struggling to find its footing, faces off against a ranked opponent in the Beehive State. The Oklahoma State Cowboys hit the road for a challenging matchup against the number 13 Brigham Young University Cougars on Friday night. Oklahoma State enters the game coming off a bye week, but their most recent performance on October 5th was a discouraging one, a 38-14 home loss to West Virginia, where they were favored by 3 points but fell well short of expectations. Meanwhile, Brigham Young University is riding high after a decisive 41-19 victory over Arizona, where they comfortably covered the 2.5-point spread. Historically, Oklahoma State has the edge in this matchup, having won all 3 prior meetings, including a 40-34 triumph on November 25, 2023. However, the momentum this season appears to favor Brigham Young University as they look to maintain their winning ways. Brigham Young University's convincing win over Arizona adds to an already impressive string of performances, including a significant victory over Kansas State. The Cougars' defense has been a key factor in their success, holding Arizona to just 19 points and forcing 4 turnovers, with 3 coming from interceptions. This opportunistic defense has a knack for swinging momentum by setting the offense up with favorable field position. A prime example of this was Jakob Robinson's pivotal interception early in the second half against Arizona, which shifted the game's momentum decisively in Brigham Young University's favor. The defense's ability to make game-changing plays is crucial, especially when tasked with covering spreads like the current -9. Even when games start off close, Brigham Young University has demonstrated a consistent ability to pull away in the later stages, as seen against Arizona, where they turned a narrow 14-7 halftime lead into a 41-19 blowout by the final whistle. Offensively, Brigham Young University has found its rhythm after overcoming early injuries in the backfield. Their rushing attack has regained form, averaging 5.4 yards per carry against Arizona, thanks in large part to excellent blocking from the offensive line. This group has excelled at both creating running lanes and providing solid protection for quarterback Jake Ritzlaff. Ritzlaff has been efficient under center, throwing for 218 yards and 2 touchdowns in his last outing. Beyond traditional offensive schemes, Brigham Young University isn't afraid to get creative, as demonstrated by a trick play touchdown pass from Parker Kingston to L.J. Martin, which capped off a 99-yard drive. This blend of efficiency, creativity, and momentum has made the Cougars a formidable team on both sides of the ball. On the other hand, Oklahoma State has been struggling, dropping 3 consecutive games, with only one, against Utah, being remotely competitive. The Cowboys' defense has been porous, surrendering 102 points across their 3-game skid, with 80 of those points coming from losses to West Virginia and Kansas State. The disparity between the two teams is apparent when comparing performances against Kansas State. Oklahoma State was routed 42-20, while Brigham Young University dismantled the same opponent 38-9 at home. As the season progresses, Brigham Young University continues to improve, particularly with Ritzlaff gaining confidence and consistency under center. With home field advantage, momentum, and a well-balanced game plan, the Brigham Young University Cougars to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In addition to their passing game, Brigham Young University's rushing attack is hitting its stride with the return of L.J. Martin, who provided a significant boost against Arizona. The Cougars averaged 5.4 yards per carry in that game, adding crucial balance to their offensive approach. This dual-threat offense forces opposing defenses to spread their focus, preventing them from stacking the box or keying in on one specific area. The ability to keep the chains moving not only wears down opposing defenses, but also allows Brigham Young University to build sustainable drives and rack up points. Their offensive line has been instrumental in this success, creating running lanes for ball carriers and giving Ritzlaff the time he needs to make plays downfield. While Brigham Young University's defense excels at generating turnovers, it isn't exactly a lockdown unit, as opponents have still been able to move the ball effectively. Against Arizona, for example, the Cougars gave up 389 total yards, including 275 through the air and 114 on the ground. Although Brigham Young University capitalized on Arizona's mistakes, the Wildcats still managed to create scoring opportunities throughout the game. This dynamic sets the stage for a high-scoring affair, where the Cougars are capable of outscoring their opponents, even if they allow some points along the way. Brigham Young University's recent offensive output, scoring 41, 35, 31, and 38 points in their last 4 games, shows they can shoulder the bulk of the scoring responsibility. Moreover, the Cougars' defense, while opportunistic, tends to allow enough yardage and points to keep games interesting. As Brigham Young University's offensive firepower and the likelihood of their opponent contributing points combine to create a favorable environment for a high-scoring contest. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Fresno State versus Nevada. Nevada will host Fresno State in a pivotal Mountain West Conference matchup, with both teams looking to build momentum. Nevada has won 2 of its last 3 games, while Fresno State, after enjoying a 3-game winning streak, has now suffered back-to-back losses. Both teams are eager to secure a crucial conference victory and set a positive tone for the rest of the season. Fresno State started the season on a strong note but has fallen to 3-3 after losing its last 2 games. The Bulldogs are currently 1-1 in Mountain West play, making this game an important opportunity to regain their footing. For Nevada, a win would be significant, bringing their overall record to 4-4. This would mark a meaningful step forward for a program that managed only 2 wins last season, one of which followed a 27-9 road loss to Fresno State. Both teams feature offenses capable of sustaining drives, but defensive consistency has been a challenge on both sides. As a result, this matchup could become an offensive showdown. Nevada's rushing attack, in particular, is expected to play a critical role. Fresno State's defense has struggled against the run, giving up an average of 4.5 yards per carry. Nevada's offensive line has been performing well, setting up quarterback Brendan Lewis and running back Savion Reed to make impactful plays. The Wolfpack will also carry confidence into this game after a major win over Oregon State, providing them with extra motivation to break a 3-game losing streak in the series with Fresno State. From a betting standpoint, several trends favor Nevada. Fresno State is just 5-10 against the spread in its last 15 games and has gone 1-4 against the spread in its previous 5 meetings with Nevada. On the other hand, the Wolfpack have excelled as underdogs, covering the spread in 7 of their last 10 games in that role. This game is likely to be competitive from start to finish, making the Nevada Wolfpack to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both teams should have success moving the ball throughout the game. While Nevada's defense recorded 4 interceptions in their recent win over Oregon State, their pass defense has been inconsistent for most of the season. Expect the Wolfpack to rely heavily on their ground game, which could prove difficult for Fresno State to contain. Scoring trends also suggest that this game will be high-scoring. The total has gone over in 7 of Nevada's last 10 games overall and in 7 of their last 9 as underdogs. Additionally, the over has hit in 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams. With both offenses likely to thrive, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.